We're gonna do something a little bit different today. You can see that I'm in front of a whiteboard, and I'm gonna take you guys through sort of putting together a basic game plan. I was talking to Josh on Facebook, and he said that he's getting ready for his first competition, and he basically wants to put together some sort of game plan because he's heard me talk about it. And one of the questions that he had about it before we get into the actual setting the moves is he said that he's a white belt and he's not really sure what he's good at, right? Because again, he's training in a gym and he's not really sure what his best moves are. If you're in that same sort of situation where you're thinking about like, what am I best with? Think about it like this. If I had a bunch of money on the table, or, you know, the way I'll say to my students is like, if I had $1 million right here, right now, and you had to do something, what would you do, right? So if I said to you, okay, you have to sweep this person and you'll get $1 million if you successfully do the sweep, what's the sweep gonna be? What's your go-to gonna be? That's kind of the way that I think about it. So when you're going through putting together a basic game plan, when you think about the moves that you're gonna need, think about what's my best stuff and what would I do if everything was on the table and I had to win, okay? And also, I wanna give you guys a heads up, you can probably already see it. My handwriting is atrocious, it's terrible, it's awful. Somewhere like third grade, like, you know, I feel like my handwriting ability sort of topped out, right? So if you guys would like to kind of go over this information on your own in a more legible form, I've put together a little PDF with some of the basic information that I'm going to cover in this video. On this PDF, you can download it. I'm sure I'll have a link somewhere. Let's get into the actual game plan. So for me personally, I typically outline my game plan in a plan A, plan B format. My plan A is a takedown, top-oriented game plan. My plan B is going to be a guard pull, sort of bottom game plan oriented sort of thing. It might be different for you because you might be a guard player, but we'll move through it. So for me, it starts with the takedown. I've got several takedowns that I use, but again, you'll just want to identify at least one takedown that you can go to. From there, it's going to move obviously into a guard position because we've taken the person down. You want to have, and you want to have a guard break and a passing series to go along with that. From there, when we get to the top submissions, you want to know your best place, like on top, like what are you best with? Are you best with back mount, side control? Where are you best? And then identify how you're going to get there, and then what type of submissions you're going to use. What's your best submissions? Okay. Now, from there, if you are not, maybe you're not the best takedown personal takedown, so you're going to go to the guard pull. So you're going to pull guard to what position? What kind of guard are you going to pull? You got to identify that. Moving forward, you then go into sweeps, right? So okay, we've gotten to our best guard position possible. What are my best sweeps from there? If I sweep the person, it then links up with the top position, right? Because now we're on top of the person, and then we'll try to go here. Again, get to our best position, submit the person. Now, the other option is that it's possibly a submission that you're gonna shoot for. So you pull guard and then go for the submission, and that's where the match ends. Now down here, escapes, you want to have at least, again, when we're talking about all these guys, you want at least one or two moves from each one. And for escapes, you want to have at least one escape that you can reliably use during the match from the major positions. So mount, back mount, and side control. And what I would also advise you to do is make sure that you have a good counter adjustment, something from half guard. So a lot of times I see a lot of people get just crushed from the bottom of half guard where the person's just smashing down and they have a ton of pressure. And so you want to make sure you have some adjustments from that bottom of half guard position, because it can be a great position for the person on top if you don't have one. Now, along with this, just a couple of like sort of side notes. You want to have a and B, you want to have a fully rounded game plan regardless of what you plan to use, right? Again, it doesn't matter if you're such a good wrestler that seems like nobody's going to be able to take you down. You still at least want to have some options from the bottom, because you never know. I've seen matches where the best wrestler in the division, you know, something happened, he got swept or something, he's on the bottom and then he's just done, right? He's like a turtle in the sun, he's just cooked. Likewise, I've seen where, you know, you have a guy who's a great guard player who submits people, right? So he pulls guard and submits the person, and then someone pulls on him first, and then their guard passing game, it's just non-existent. So then they're just, you know, again, they're not able to play their game. So you want to make sure wherever you're at, you want to make sure that you have some options to go to, okay? And you want to make sure that these are all drilled previously. Now, some of you guys probably won't have the option of always drilling a ton. I understand that you don't have the control that I do over the classes and everything else, but what you can do is you can take this game plan that you make, right, that you outline for yourself, and then say, okay, when I go into the gym and roll, these are the moves that I'm going to focus on over and over and over again, so that you kind of just get them drilled into your head leading up to the competition. So Josh, I hope this video helps sort of outline a basic idea of how to come up with a game plan for yourself leading up to a competition. If it doesn't, shoot me a message and I'll try to give you some more help. And again, guys, if you're getting ready for a competition and you're watching this and this is helpful to you, I'm glad. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. I'll talk to you guys next time.